Hey, welcome in. Thursday edition Bruce Hooley Show. We got a lot on Joe Biden and his incomprehensible Middle East policy. We have stories of his serial fabulism, as Democrats talk about, where he's explaining his Green Bay Packers fandom in a different way than he explained it years ago. Warning people not to jump off high places, and assorted other craziness. But we start with Columbus City Schools, and we're exiting commercial right now, so here we go. Welcome in to a Thursday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. Jeff, don't know why I don't hear myself in my headphones, and I do have the right buttons pressed as far as I know, but maybe there's something that I'm not hearing that I should be hearing, but at any rate, we will persevere here. We'll get to Joe Biden and his incomprehensible Israel policy as he announced it on CNN last night. We won't dive deep into it at the start of the show because we have other news locally that I try to make sense of regarding the craziness of the Columbus City Schools and Columbus City School Board. But first of all, just to keep you updated on what is certainly consequential in terms of international peace and perhaps the Middle East situation, here is Joe Biden with Aaron Burnett of CNN saying that he indeed will deny Israel the precision weapons and everything else that it needs to not only win the war in Hamas. I'm good, Jeff. I figured it out. Not only win the war in Gaza against the Hamas terrorists who remain, but to minimize the civilian casualties, which has been the primary concern of the Biden administration in the relatively immediate aftermath of Hamas going across the border on October the 7th. Here is Biden with Aaron Burnett confirming what had been reported late last weekend.
We're going to continue to make sure Israel is secure in terms of Iron Dome and their ability to respond to attacks like came out in the Middle East recently. But it's just wrong. We're not going to supply the weapons and the artillery shells used that have been used.
Artillery shells as well.
Yeah, artillery shells.
It's wrong, he says, for Israel to try to win the war against people who are first and foremost committed to slaughtering every Jew on the face of the earth, because that is how Muslims view, extreme Muslims view, their way to heaven is to murder infidels. And infidels are people who don't believe in Allah, who don't believe in the Muslim religion. And Jews are right there, surrounded by 22 Arab nations. And Biden says it is wrong for Israel to finish this war against Hamas. I could go on and on and on about this, but if you are a Democrat out there right now and you are saying no, that's not what it's about, no, Joe Biden is, he's 81 and he's crazy and he misspoke. Well, Matt Miller is a State Department spokesman. He's a lot younger than Joe Biden, and he made it pretty clear yesterday what really bothers the Biden administration about Israel winning this war.
When you see the results of the campaign to date, you think too many Palestinians die. Imagine a repeat of such a campaign in an even more dense area than where Israel has operated to date. That's why we have such great concerns.
Too many people dying. Too many enemies of Israel dying. Too many people in a nation that violated a ceasefire, went across the border into Israel, and slaughtered, if you add up hostages and IDF soldiers since October 7th, innocent Israeli citizens, wives, husbands, sons, daughters, babies, 2,000 people. Given the population of Israel, it is the gravest threat to the existence of Jews since the Holocaust. But too many Gazans are dying. According to Matt Miller, according to Joe Biden, according to Antony Blinken, according to Jake Sullivan, according to Neera Tanden, according to all the people in the Biden administration, too many are dying because they're not just negotiating with terrorists, they're supporting terrorists. They want, at best, no one to win this war. And they probably wouldn't be all that upset if Hamas won it. So we'll have more on this later. I got a ton of audio. I've got a ton of things I'd like to say about it. But because, as a local host, first and foremost, I serve you, we told you yesterday about the Columbus City School Board announcing that they have 9 options for how they're going to close upwards of 20 buildings in the district and consolidate them. Now, there's a similarity here between this decision and the Biden administration's policy on Israel. The Biden's policy on Israel is a 2080 issue. They're taking the 20 side, cannibalizing their own hopes, I hope, of getting reelected in November. Similarly, Columbus City Schools, by announcing that they are closing or want to close up to 20 buildings, I found out, you know what happens to a closed school building in a district? You know who gets first dibs on that building once it's closed? Any charter school that wants to open in that district. They get dibs on the building. And that's what happened the last time they closed a fair amount of buildings in Columbus, is that charter schools opened. The funding for charter schools, unlike the funding for school choice and ed choice in Ohio, which I know a lot of teachers union people are like, oh, you know, if you give $7,500 to a kid to choose where they want to go to school, that money comes out of the local school district. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Local school district still gets the money for your kid, even if your kid is going to a different school in that district. The school district still gets the money for your kid, but not when it's a charter school. When it's a charter school, the district in the area of the charter school does get the funding for that student taken away from the district. So Columbus City Schools, in announcing that it wants to close 20 buildings, is, I assume, inadvertently aiding the charter school movement in the city of Columbus, which could cannibalize the district even further, which would be fine with me. Because the kids in the district are going to get a better education in a charter school. That's why there's a 2,000 student waiting list at KIPP Academy, because they have discipline, they have expectations, and they learn. But let me share one big headline with you, and then we'll go back into the time machine with a little history here. The Columbus City School Board, when it was advocating for a levy passage of $100 million in November, did not disclose to voters. Now they're telling everyone, oh, we had this plan on the table in September of last year. We knew in September of last year we were going to have to close schools this year. I'll just read this report right out of the Dispatch today. Excuse me, this is right out of 10TV on 10TV.com. Kevin Landers reporting. Prior to the Columbus City Schools levy passing in November, the district issued a statement of facts as to what would happen if it passed. Oh, so they probably put in there they're going to close buildings. No. The next sentence says, it made no mention of closing some schools. It made no mention. Hey, give us more money. We're going to close 20 buildings in the district, and your kid's going to have to go not to their neighborhood school, but to another school in the district. Now, the history lesson. I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about the stewardship of Columbus City Schools, which has been a train wreck for 50 years. I told you yesterday, apex enrollment, Columbus City Schools, 110,000 in 1972. Now it's 45,000. Why are they losing students? Because people want to move to where their kids get better schools, get better educated, get educated. What was the literacy rate, reading proficiency, third grade yesterday? 39%. What's the promotion rate, third grade to fourth grade? 99%. They're promoting kids who can't read in third grade. How do you think they're going to do in the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and on? But a little history lesson. If you remember back in October, I remember I was not on the air then, but I remember this very well. And I went back and researched it to make sure that I didn't inaccurately recall. There was, for like a hot second, an organization called Equity Now Coalition. 75 Black Columbus business leaders who wrote a letter saying that they would not endorse the levy. Why would they not endorse the levy? Because they said there has not been sufficient effort made to educate and engage the community. This lack of transparency is especially troubling. Lack of transparency? You mean like having a plan to close 20 schools and not telling the voters about it before they vote on a levy? That might have made a little bit of a difference. Now, what happened to these people in the Equity Now Coalition who said courageously, we demand better from our schools, from our school board? They also said the board president, Jennifer Adair, should resign. What happened? Well, you might remember, 2 days later, they retracted this and said, oh, we only said that because we really want the levy to pass. That's an interesting strategy, saying we won't support it, but we want it to pass.
On this afternoon, shower and thunderstorm, a high today 65, cloudy tonight, low 50. Sun then clouds and shower spots tomorrow, the high 63. Clouds, windy, showers on Saturday. Could be some hail, maybe thunder.
All right.
On Saturday at
Off and running. You want a little secret as to why I couldn't hear at the beginning of the show?
Sun and clouds on Monday.
You ready?
Monday at 76.
You actually have to plug in your headphones in order to be able to hear through your headphones. Poor Jeff. He's over there looking at buttons and I got the board all right. What's going on? Hooley did not plug in his headphones. Okay, now they're plugged in. Now I can hear.
Useful financial advice throughout the year from your accountant. Why not? I'm CPA Brad Hennebert from Premier Tax CPAs, and the true value of using a CPA is getting guidance throughout the year.
Don't get cancer.
Tax time.
That's my advice to you. Don't get cancer. I take like 50 pills a day if I take one. I'm sick of taking pills, but I got to take them.
See your accountant only at tax time. We're really only keeping score of what you did last year. At Premier Tax CPAs, we like to have monthly conversations with our business clients.
A little more on Columbus City Schools, a little more on the wigged out commencement speech at Ohio State.
A copy of my latest book, The Ohio Business Owner's Tax Survival Guide. At Premier Tax CPAs, we're a firm that can work with you and your business throughout the year to help you make decisions before it's too late. Give us a call at 614-524-4888.
I'll be right back with you. I just got to do a little prep here.
888.
The Tilton family at Tilton's Automotive Service has been serving our community with state-of-the-art equipment for nearly 35 years. From oil changes to detailing to complete engine replacement, we're here to serve you to the highest levels and make you part of the family. All our repairs are backed by a 36-month, 36,000-mile warranty. Check out our mobile app for discounts and specials. Tilton's Automotive Service, in the shadow of Anheuser-Busch in Columbus and just off Creekside in Gahanna. For more info, check out tiltonsauto.com. Take it to Tilton's. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Everyone knows the old saying, nothing lasts forever. Well, whoever said that obviously never bought a timeshare. Not only do your maintenance fees and assessment fees go on forever, they go up forever. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Over 10 years ago, I was a timeshare salesman. But once I saw the dark side of the business, I quit. I started helping folks get out of the timeshare. Since then, we've helped over 30,000 families by getting them out of bad timeshare. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answer. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-839-8484. That's 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the
All right, just about ready to come back, I think.
Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV. Like
Getting close, getting close.
Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, followed by Stacey Washington at 5. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
There's a threat to America. Lyme disease.
Spread by tiny ticks, this dangerous disease can cause life-changing health problems and is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. So it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside and seeing a doctor if you experience the warning signs, which can include joint pain and flu-like symptoms. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Hey, you know I favor natural products over artificial products. It's much healthier to go natural, and so that's why I'm a big advocate of PatriotSwitch.com products, but it's also why I'm a big advocate of you taking advantage of the free consultation you get from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is located right here in Columbus, and they can help you with your joint pain, your arthritis pain, your mysterious pain. You don't know what it is. You can go to doctors and you can try all kinds of pills and all that, and you can get hooked on medical appointments and artificial things into your body, but you could also just allow your body to do what it's equipped to do, designed to do, which is heal itself. You get a cut on your finger, you don't go to the doctor. Why? Well, because you know it'll heal itself. Your body can do the same thing with a little help. The natural platelets in your body are meant to heal, but sometimes the pain overwhelms those platelets. You just need a little more, a double dose, shall we say. And QC Kinetics takes the good platelets out of your body, concentrates them, waits for your body to make more, re-injects them in the affected area, and you get healing. You get relief. You get a pain-free life. QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544 to get out of pain with QC Kinetics. We will be joined at 12:05 today by Matt Mayer, OpportunityOhio.org. The Trump trial is going on in New York. He missed an opportunity today, as he often does. He came out and he should have talked about Joe Biden denying precision munitions to Israel, which were agreed to by, oh, that's right, the House and Senate. You know how we appropriate all kinds of military aid to Ukraine? There's a big fight over, do they deserve it? Are they being judicious with it? Is Ukraine a corrupt country? And they always say, well, you know, we got to get Congress has got to come through for us. Congress has got to come through. And then when Congress comes through, then, you know, Volodymyr Zelensky gets all the money he wants, and his oligarchs can skim off however many billion they want to. But with Israel, Joe Biden can just decide Congress has approved it, but we're not going to send it. That's what he told Aaron Burnett of CNN yesterday, which begs the question. Didn't Donald Trump get impeached for that? For denying military aid that had been approved to Ukraine? Or no, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize. He didn't get impeached for denying it. He got impeached for threatening to deny it. Biden is actually doing it. He's actually denying it. That's just so stupid and so dopey. This guy's an idiot. And I was chatting with colleagues here in the office, and we're like, yeah, but he could win. He could win. It's just... I was thinking about this morning as I got out of my car to walk into the office, and I thought, what if he wins? What if he wins anyway? Like, this is just amazing to me that people cannot... first of all, let's take it from both sides of the aisle. Republicans had a chance to not give Democrats the candidate they wanted, and we didn't do it. We didn't do it. Okay? So, if we don't win in November, we'll own some of that blame. But just if you keep it on the idea that Joe Biden could win the election, I got out of my car and I thought, I'm glad my parents aren't around to see this. I'm glad my father, a World War II veteran, is not around to see this. And I thought, if he wins, I will be living and my children will be growing up in a country I don't recognize. Because I cannot understand how this nation could vote this man and these policies back into the White House. Honestly, I mean that. I'm not trying to be histrionic, alarmist. That's the reality. When Israel, an ally, does not get the military aid that our Congress voted it should get, one man stands in the way of that. Again, Bruce, why are you surprised? Supreme Court said he couldn't forgive student loans. They said he couldn't do a mask mandate. They said he couldn't do a rent moratorium. He did all three, and he bragged about it. And he continues to brag about it. And he continues to try to find ways around the checks and balances built into our Constitution by our founders. Why am I surprised? He would do this with military aid. His Justice Department spies on people and does everything that it can to deny free speech. It openly says free speech is a threat to America. The one thing that makes America unique is freedom of speech, and he says it's a threat. And the people under him who serve him are zealous in their view that free speech is a threat to America. See, I get going on this, and I get away from my plan. My plan was to finish up here with Columbus City Schools. And here's my thing. If you're a parent, you also, like me with Biden, cannot be surprised by how ill-served you are by Columbus City Schools. Because, let me just do a little refresher course. I told you about the Equity Coalition. October 2nd last year, they write the letter. There's not enough transparency. We don't support the levy. Jennifer Adair needs to resign as head of the levy. And then 2 days later, because they get a lot of pressure, because how dare you? Like we got black city council people, and we got a black superintendent of Columbus City Schools. You can't criticize them. Well, Nana Watson's not afraid. She's the head of the NAACP in Columbus. And she wrote a letter a week after the Equity Coalition caved and said, oh, that letter 2 days ago, questioning the leadership, the transparency of the Columbus City School Board, we didn't mean, that was a strategy. That was a strategy to get the levy passed. Us saying we weren't going to support the levy, we just said that 2 days ago. I fooled you. We said that just to get the levy passed. In fact, if the levy passes, and this is a direct quote, they said, we'll be dancing in the streets. Well, they were dancing in the streets because the levy did pass. Columbus City Schools got its $100 million. And now they're saying they're going to close 20 buildings, which they never disclosed before the levy went on the ballot and people voted on it. So a week later, Nana Watson of the NAACP said she found it interesting that the Columbus Education Association came out in full bore support of the levy. Yeah, who would turn down $100 million, Nana? When 80% of their teachers reside outside the Columbus district. 80%. They're not stupid. They know what kind of education kids in Columbus are not getting. And let me give you a little bit more history. Once upon a time, a member of the Columbus Board of Education by the name of James Ragland made the egregious mistake of supporting school choice in Columbus, for which the Columbus Education Association withdrew its recommendation of him. James Ragland is black, but he violated the number one thing you can't do. He told the truth about the ineffective education in the city of Columbus. And then he also, later on, doubled down and told the truth again. Come on, James. He posted a photo on his Facebook page with the text underneath it, "Nice girls don't stay for breakfast." And he captioned the photo, "Happy Women's Day. Govern yourselves accordingly. Nice girls don't stay for breakfast." In other words, hey girls, Columbus City School girls, don't sleep around. Don't get pregnant before you get out of high school, because it portends very difficult circumstances ahead of you, because the guy who gets you pregnant quite likely won't stick around to support you. And James Ragland, foretelling the truth, was pressured to resign by the Columbus City Schools and its union.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The threat of severe weather persists today across the South and the Midwest. 2 people died yesterday in Tennessee and 1 in North Carolina after violent storms pounded the region. President Biden is vowing to withhold certain American weapons from Israel should the Jewish state go into Rafah to finish off Hamas. Republican Congressman Mike Johnson will be staying on as Speaker of the House. Congresswoman Marjorie
No,
Taylor
yippee-ki-yay.
Greene's attempt to oust
Mike Johnson
Johnson
sticking around.
gone down to
I know he's
defeat.
got to stick around. I
House
know it's
Republicans have passed a bill to add
not going to do any good
citizenship
for him to resign,
question
but
to the
man.
census in 2030. Not a single Democrat voted to support that bill.
He
Former
gives away the
California
farm
Congressman Pete
too many
McCarthy
times.
Ran as a Republican, challenging President Nixon in 1972, who died at the age of...
All right, what do we got in the old audio Wayback Machine?
191 points. More details at SRN News.
Where's my Kamala story?
Trump's indictment proves that saving
Where's my
America is not
Kamala
going to be
story?
easy.
Come on, Kamala.
There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wall now. I'm a
my
news
national
analyst,
news
Christian
pile.
author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because
Well, I have it here somewhere.
a few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on
Is it?
gold IRAs,
Might be it.
text the word faith.
Yeah.
989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898, and you're going to be blessed by taking
Okay, I
action.
can't find that story, so I got to find it on here. Or is it on Red State? Where's it at?
You go with the Answers mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn or iHeart.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wall now. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898, and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
Hey Health Warriors, Dr. Brandon Schreiner here with Revive Your Health Radio on 98.9 FM The Answer, where every week you're going to get world-class lifestyle education from myself and other healthcare practitioners. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, be sure to tune in to Revive Your Health Radio every week on 98.9 FM The Answer.
Revive Your Health Radio with Dr. Brandon Schreiner, Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 and Sunday morning from 9 to 10 on 98.9 FM The Answer.
We are strong, and we'll get through this together. But these are stressful times. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, and know that you are not alone. Visit wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Hey, we got 5 days left in the discounted time period for memberships in the private shopping club at patriotswitch.com/Bruce. Until the 14th of May, you can become an annual member for $1. An annual member for $1. What are you paying for your BJ's Wholesale Club, Sam's Club, Costco membership? A lot of those same kinds of products you can get from Patriot Switch. I say kinds of products because, I mean, you can buy mouthwash and toothpaste and laundry detergent at all those places. But you know what? You'll be buying from Procter & Gamble and Unilever and Johnson & Johnson and all the big companies that you're fighting. And you'll buy like industrial sizes of them. Patriot Switch products are not sold in stores. They are not advertised, except here, word of mouth, member to member. And they're made from plants. Good for you, good for the environment. And good for our country because they don't support market share of big companies that donate to Planned Parenthood to abort babies and to defund the police movements that increase crime in our inner cities. If you'd like to support the values of our country and get great products at a fair price, shipped right to your door, find out more at brucehooley.com. So just to tie up the last loose end on the Columbus City Schools situation, I don't mean to blame all this on Columbus City Schools. It's a mindset that filters throughout our city. amid the people who have power. Okay, so we've got ineffective leadership of Columbus City Schools, which exacerbates a problem that I don't know if it originates, but it proliferates downtown and in the mayor's office. And we had how many terms did Mike Coleman have? 4? It seemed like 40. But Ginther now is on his 3rd term, or will be once he's elected in November. If in fact he was not elected last November. I lose track because I try to put unpleasant things out of my mind. But we've got a problem downtown in our Justice Center. We've got a problem in the mindset of educators. And when those two things collide, lives get ruined or shortchanged. Bad education is shortchanging lives of young people in the city of Columbus. Crime ruins lives. It ends lives for victims, but it ruins lives for people who engage in that criminal activity. I told you the other day about someone who stole a car and then rammed it into police vehicles. Got more information on that situation now. And you tell me if this does not speak to, and another story I'll share with you, do not speak to, the hopelessness of the youth of the city of Columbus. This involves 3 17-year-olds. When you're 17 and it's May, are you a high school graduate? Probably not. You probably should be in high school. But Akai Benjamin was not in high school, in class, the other day when, near Whitehall, he stole a Kia from a hotel near John Glenn International Airport on Tuesday afternoon. The police got an alert from a camera at the hotel that a car had been stolen. They followed the car in unmarked and marked police cruisers to a nearby apartment complex where a 17-year-old girl came out and got in the car with Mr. Benjamin. So here's a quote from Whitehall Deputy Chief Dan Kelso. After police converged, this is not the quote. I'm just telling you, I needed to tell you one more fact. So they saw Mr. Benjamin, he's stationary in this stolen car. The girl comes out. They figure, okay, we'll drive up, we'll box him in. What happens next? Here's a quote from Deputy Chief Dan Kelso. He said to his female passenger as he saw the cars blocking him in, "Those are undercover." That's when he threw it in gear and tried to slam right through them. It was an intentional act. So the kid knew he was in trouble. We've told this story before. It happened at a convenience store in Columbus. Kid rammed into police cruisers who had converged around him. Found a gun on him. They didn't find a gun here, but they found crack cocaine in the kid's pocket. Benjamin told police he forgot crack cocaine was in his pocket, employing the old Steve Martin, "I forgot armed robbery was against the law" excuse. And then stated, "Well, I sometimes share my clothes with my friends." I'm laughing at the absurdity of this, okay? Here's the next sentence in the 10 TV report. In December, Whitehall police say they arrested Mr. Benjamin on back-to-back days in stolen cars. Back-to-back days. That sent 10 TV reporters to the home of Mr. Benjamin's mother, who told 10 TV that her son had repeatedly stolen vehicles and had been, at one time, shot while trying to steal another vehicle. Her quote to 10 TV, "I've been begging and pleading. Please arrest him. Lock him up. Do something that's going to make him pay for the things he's out here doing." You think we don't have a problem in our justice system? Do you remember Operation Game Over? I remember it. You probably remember it. Yeah, I've listened to your show, Bruce. You talk about Operation Game Over all the time. I do. Because the juvenile court judges in town deemed it racist for police to prioritize catching and incarcerating kids who were stealing cars. Because the theory of the juvenile court judges was, if you put them in jail, they'll learn how to become criminals. I know you're saying it, I hear it. Wait, if they've stolen a car, don't they already know how to become criminals? Yes. Yes. So it's not just a Columbus City School problem, it's a justice problem, it's a prosecutor's office problem, it's a city law director problem, it's a mayoral problem, it's a city council problem, because Democrats believe, generally Democrats believe, that people are good and that punishment for crime is not worthy, because the statistics often show a disproportionate impact on certain races or ethnicities. And that if there is a disproportionate impact on certain races or ethnicities, then there has to be something wrong with the laws that disproportionately impact races or ethnicities. The cause could not be that kids in certain areas of the city are underserved in the education system, or they're poorly parented, or they're non-existent parents allow them free rein to do whatever they want to do, or a young, headstrong male with a single mom who wants people to put her son in jail, and the system turns a deaf ear to her because of intersectionality concerns. I was thinking the other day about intersectionality, and if you're a woman, if you're black, if you're gay, if you're not Asian, I mean, you can't. They achieve too much, so Asians don't get a break. If you're Palestinian, if you're BIPOC. I was thinking the other day about, we should have a new card game called Intersectionality Poker. And Intersectionality Poker would have one rule that no other card game has. And the rule that Intersectionality Poker has that no other game, in which you can play a card in one fashion to win a hand, and then play the exact same card again in another hand to win that hand. What do I mean? Diversity, equity, and inclusion gets you hired. If you're black, if you're gay, if you're two-spirit, if you're some other favored ethnic or racial class, you can play that card to get into the game. You win the hand. And then once you're in the game, when, not always, but often, your deeds are exposed as inferior. You're not getting the job done. The president, the head of ABC News, she's a black woman. She just got fired. And the Black Journalist Society said, this is unfair. Why is it unfair? Is she doing a good job? It's irrelevant. She's a pioneer in the field. She's a black woman. You can't fire her. She can reach into the pile of cards that have already been played, and she can pull the intersectionality card out again. And the card that got her into the game, that allowed her to win the hand to get a great job, she can play that card again to say, you can't fire me, you can't get rid of me. Intersectionality poker is the only game where you can play the exact same card, your race, your ethnicity, your freaky sexual preference or whatever, to get in the game and win the game, and then when they try to get you out of the game because of your own incompetence, you get to play that card again to defend yourself against your own ineptitude. And that's what we see at play in Columbus City Schools, in our justice system. Why this young man? I feel so sorry for his mom. I feel so sorry for his mom. She wants someone to get her son under control. She's trying, she can't do it. And nobody will help her.
Clouds and some sun this afternoon. Shower and thunderstorm. A high today 65. Cloudy tonight, low 50. Sun then clouds and shower spots tomorrow. The high 63. Clouds, windy, showers on Saturday. Could be some
Man, I feel for you, ma'am.
The high on Saturday at 63.
I feel for you. Tiffany Hammonds. I feel for you.
On Monday,
You are being They're victimized by the very people who claim they want to help you and claim they care about you. They don't care about you at all. They don't care about your son at all.
We're facing money dangers that we haven't
because
seen in a long time, maybe ever. Inflation continues to be a problem.
You're not a big enough electoral factor to keep them out of power. And a lot of people don't know your story. And they can just, Joyce Beatty and others can just get up there and they can just say, oh, we care about Linden, we care about the Near East Side, we care about the Hilltop, we care about disadvantaged areas of our city so much. The Republicans don't care. The Republicans will probably put the kids to work. They won't give them summer basketball. They'll take that $20 million and make them work, which would ingrain values and a value system that would serve them well long term. But you're not a big enough electoral force, Tiffany Hammonds, because your story is singular, and basically uneducated voters don't understand that. I mean, this goes all the way back to the Great Society with Lyndon Johnson. You can look up what Lyndon Johnson said about giving people welfare checks. The destruction of the black family started with the advent of the Great Society. When you remove consequences for actions, when you remove discipline from the home, when you remove moral values, you get what you get. You get what we see. As Voltaire said, it is impossible to free fools from the chains they revere.
By texting the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and see how a gold IRA can help you. Text faith to 989898. There are no strings attached. So text faith to the number 989898 right now and take action to protect your own prosperity. What do you want your future to be like? Invest in your education today, something that no one can take away from you. Ohio Christian University's online programs for working adults give you the flexibility to take one class at a time to fit your busy schedule. Our programs range from business to psychology and substance abuse counseling. Classes begin on March 19th. 726-7937 today to learn more, or go to ohiochristian.edu/apply.
The NLS Braille and Talking Book program gives patrons the freedom to read their way. Listen to their stories.
When I lost my sight, the only thing I had was reading, and it was like therapy to me.
NLS has pretty much anything you possibly want to read. Just can't recommend it enough. It's a free service. It's amazing how much you can get.
I have used every means there is, I think, of getting access to National Library Service books.
If you want to read an electronic braille, you can. If you want to read on your phone, you can. If you want to read in heartprint, you can.
Everybody can read the way they want to read using this program. It's a program worth looking into.
For more information about the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped Library of Congress, visit loc.gov/thatallmayread or call 1-888-NLS-READ.
Hope you'll take advantage of riverbendranchsteaks.com and go to the website riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley to find out about getting awesome beef shipped right to your door. Every month, every other month. I don't know of any other meat service, Good Ranchers, Moink, Omaha Steaks, that ships it, gives you the option to ship it every other month. Riverbend Ranch Steaks does, but once you taste it, you're going to want it every month. You're probably going to want it every meal because it is that good. It has no hormones in it, no antibiotics. That makes a difference. And it is also certified, never ever. So no hormones, no antibiotics, certified never ever. Also certified USDA Choice and Prime, which is the highest two levels of the grade of beef that you can buy. You have a hard time finding it at your grocery store, and if you find it, you're going to pay a lot more for it than you'll pay at Riverbend Ranch. That's the truth. Their prices are lower than all the other beef services and many grocery stores because their beef is better. You're going to love it. It's good for you. riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. So, nutjob Marjorie Taylor Greene trying to get Mike Johnson out as Speaker of the House. I'm not a big Johnson supporter, but I'm a supporter of having power over not having it. If you would like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden to be held accountable for the funny business that they initiated all over the globe, for Hunter to pick up bags of cash and for Joe to have the coin to afford multiple $1-million beach houses. If you'd like to get to the bottom of that, the only hope you have of getting to the bottom of that is if we have a Republican majority in the House and Republican leadership of the House Oversight Committee and House Judiciary Committee. And if Marjorie Taylor Greene gets Mike Johnson out as Speaker, well, guess who becomes Speaker? Quite likely the old air traffic controller himself, Mr. I can't move and talk without moving my hands like I'm bringing a plane in off the runway, Hakeem Jeffries. Okay? So stupid, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Here in Ohio, we have a House Speaker. His name is Jason Stevens. And Jason Stevens is definitely guilty of doing what Marjorie Taylor Greene and a few other nut jobs accuse Mike Johnson of doing, prioritizing Democratic concerns over their own. Jason Stevens does that, did that. That's how he became House Speaker. He had more Democrats vote for him as House Speaker than Republicans. That's a red flag. And if you ever doubted Jason Stevens white-knuckling his House speakership, hanging on for dear life, you got proof of it yesterday. You know this weird circumstance where, as of yet, Joe Biden is not on the ballot for the November presidential election in the state of Ohio. Now, the reason Joe Biden is not on the ballot in the state of Ohio is because the Democratic convention is not until late August. Ohio has a law that candidates for the presidency have to be certified on the ballot by August 7th, 90 days before the presidential election. So the Democrats are holding their election after this certification date, which Biden is not officially nominated until the convention. So they got a problem, the Democrats do, with getting Biden on the ballot in Ohio. And Ohio wants Joe Biden on the ballot. I want Joe Biden on the ballot. Why? Because it'll drive voters to the polls to vote for Donald Trump. And while they're there, hopefully they'll vote for Bernie Moreno for Senate, and we'll get Brillo head Sherrod Brown out of the Senate. By the way, I checked Sherrod Brown's Twitter feed today. You know what the pinned tweet on Sherrod Brown's Twitter feed is? It's about the East Palestine train derailment. Is there anything on there about Palestine? Anything on there about Israel? Anything on there about supporting Israel? Any mention of Mr. 98.5% voting all the time with Joe Biden, Sherrod Brown, going against the president, pulling precision munitions from Israel in its fight against Hamas? There is not. Mr. Career Politician, Working Man, Blue Collar Sherrod Brown does not have a thing to say about the most consequential issue in international politics in the world right now. He's still a year and what? 2 months, 3 months in the past on East Palestine, which East Palestine matters, but right now, Palestine, Hamas, Israel matters. And Joe Biden's wigged out policy to deny them the precision munitions that Congress has already voted on. Sherrod Brown has nothing to say. But back to the Ohio State House and Jason Stevens. So we got to get Biden on the ballot so we can get Sherrod Brown out. And we can drive Trump voters to the polls. So the Democrats in the Ohio General Assembly wanted something passed to get Biden on the ballot. They want some kind of a one-time exception to this. And when you are in not just the minority, but the super minority in the House and the Senate in Ohio, when the Republicans have enough votes to override the veto of a Republican governor on something as consequential as protecting women's sports and keeping men out of, well, they haven't done the men out of women's bathrooms yet, but they did do the sexual reassignment surgeries and puberty blockers thing. They overrode DeWine's veto on that. That's how strong the Republican majorities are. So in the real world of politics, When you give the other side something that they want when they're in a super minority, what do you insist on? You want something back in return. So here was the proposal out of the Ohio Senate led by Matt Huffman. He said, sure, we'll give you the dispensation to put Biden on the ballot. But what we want is a ban on dark money political funding of issues in Ohio. In other words, mysterious, no-name, untraceable organizations cannot fatten the coffers of Democrats, which happened to pass both issue 1 and issue 2. We have abortion unrestricted in the state of Ohio, and we did not advance the level to overturn, or not overturn, but amend the Ohio Constitution from 50% plus 1 to 60% because of dark money contributions to Democrats. So Huffman's like, you get rid of that, we'll put Biden on the ballot for you. This was the Senate proposal. Matt Huffman leads the Ohio Senate. So this proposal comes before the Ohio House yesterday. We got a big majority in the Ohio House, super majority in the Ohio House. And Jason Stevens won't allow it to come up for vote. He adjourns the meeting. Here's a post on Facebook from State Representative Rodney Creech. He's a member of the Ohio House. What we've been seeing for 16 months and what we saw during session yesterday at the Ohio House was disgusting. Jason Stevens wants to be Speaker so bad that he sold out to Minority Leader Allison Russo, Democrat, Upper Arlington, in January 2023. She and the Democrats put him in the seat with 32 votes, and she can take him out if he doesn't comply with her demands. We all knew Russo had been Jason Stevens' puppeteer, but yesterday it was very obvious, and even some of Stevens' supporters noticed it. So Jason Stevens wants to be Speaker so bad that he is now having to deliver on the promises that he made to Democrats, where they will be able to order him around, lead him around by the nose, pull his puppet strings, just like whoever's in charge at the White House does with Joe Biden every single day. Now, I do not think Ted Carter, the president of Ohio State, is a guy who responds to public pressure. We've seen that in the way that he has administered the security on the South Oval with the student protests. But you got to feel like Ted Carter got done dirty on the commencement speech by social media. What is this guy's social media alumni and social entrepreneur, Chris Pan, who did what many people are saying is the weirdest commencement speech ever. There was a little singing, a little Bitcoin live read, a little weirdness, a lot of weirdness. Ted Carter yesterday spoke to reporters down at the State House. He said, it was certainly an interesting speech. I would say very non-traditional. There was some things that I liked and some I didn't like. He said, I've never met him before. I didn't know anything about him until dinner the night before. Yeah, next year they'll have higher standards, I bet. All right, that'll do it for hour number 1. I can only stream hour number 1. Nobody wants to watch 2 hours online, I don't think. Wow, good audience today. Go to Bruce Hooley, the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page, or 989 The Answer Facebook page to watch hour number 2. This will be on Rumble in a little while. Love to help you out with steaks from Riverbend Ranch. PatriotSwitch.com products are great. We just got our shipment the other day. You'll love the nutritional supplements. You'll love the vitamins. All the personal care products are great. My kids love the mouthwash toothpaste. I have girls, they love the makeup. So check all those things out. You can find a link at riverbendranchsteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. You can also find links at brucehooley.com. And you can read blogs about, my cancer treatment and things like that at brucehooley.com. So with all that, thanks for joining, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.